Grant Cardone is a New York Times best-selling author of 4 books. Now, he wrote those books in response to the economic collapse, the one that crippled the majority of America, because he knew at that point everybody needed to learn how to go out, how to identify a target, how to take that target down and make money. Currently, he's writing for Entrepreneur Magazine, Wells Fargo, Business Insider, Amex Open Forum. He contributes regularly to CNBC, MSNBC, Fox News. But if you ask who Grant is to me, he's a guy that completely changed my life. When I came to work for Grant, I'll get some Kleenex here. When I came to work for Grant, I thought I knew a little bit about selling. I had been in sales pretty much my whole life before that. And I come to find out really quick that just because you can talk to people doesn't mean you're a salesperson. So who is Grant for me? He's a life changer. When I came to work for Grant, I was making $2,500 a month. He gave me nothing more than that and an opportunity to go out and get as much as I want, to align myself with somebody with a lot of horsepower and go out and do massive things and really help people. If you don't know much about me, you probably haven't heard me. The first 6 months that I worked for Grant, I was living in LA making $2,500. I was literally sleeping on an air mattress. I had about 5 outfits that I wore in rotation, wore the elbows out of them because I was wearing them so much. But I go from making $2,500 checks to making $50,000 checks, that you see one of these here. So he was a complete life changer for me. And as we go through this, you're going to hear more stories about the people that Grant and his material have impacted. And I want you to know that this isn't just some fluke. This isn't just something that might happen. This is something that can happen. This is something that will happen for you. You just have to believe that it can. And you have to be willing to do the hard work, and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You got to be willing to sacrifice comfort for freedom. You got to be willing to sacrifice comfort to get what you want out of life. And today, Grant is going to give you 7 tips and way more things that you can do in order to get what you want out of life. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Grant Cardone.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming. We are sold out. I've been promising for a week now that we'd be sold out. This webinar came up as a result of a buddy that I'm doing some work with right now. And he's like, hey, you think you could sell out a webinar? I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's find out. That was Tuesday. We had 3,000, just short of 3,000 people register for this. I acknowledge everybody that registered. If you missed it, I'm going to do another one because I commit to delivering to people. It's 5:00 on a Friday afternoon. There's 1,000+ people in the house right now. It says 1,004. How can there be 1,004 people when there's Oh, wow. So I apologize to anybody that didn't make it. But look, hey, if you're not first,
you last.
You last. Now, look, this is what we're going to do today, okay? I'm going to lay this thing out. This is going to be a blast. You're going to have a blast because the beautiful thing about sales is you should have fun in sales. You should have a blast in sales. And I didn't know that when I first got into it. I did not have a good time selling, okay? I went to a small college I lived in a small town, went to a small college and a very small high school. This is a photo of me right here graduating. You can see me over here in the right-hand corner if you can find me there. I'm on the 3rd row all the way to the end. I was last, okay? I'm next to my twin brother there. I called him Henrietta. That was his name. And none of these people, as I saw this image today, none of these people were salespeople, okay? None of these people got out of high school and became salespeople. I know there's a lawyer in here. There's a couple of doctors in here. There's a bunch of people in here that are unemployed. Some of these people, do all kinds of things in life. I became the salesperson in this group. And I got to tell you, I'm happy I became the salesperson. How I got in sales was maybe much like many people got in sales. Nobody thinks about getting in sales. I don't think you're born to become a Motorola salesperson or GE salesperson, or you're like, I'm going to go sell aircraft one day. When you're 8, 9, 10 years old, that's not what you see on TV or hear on the radio. You don't go to school and hear about sales. So when I got out of college, I went to high school, left high school, I was in a town called Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's a refinery town. And the jobs in that refinery town are about labor. They're about hard work. They're also fishing boats in Cameron. I did all those jobs. I did a refinery job over the summers. I did offshore jobs where we delivered to supply boats. Hard labor, very tough, $8, $9 an hour jobs. I also had jobs as waiters, bellboy, McDonald's. Here's what you don't know. I got fired from every job I've ever been on. Every job. The only jobs I didn't get fired from were the ones that I quit first. So here I get out of college. I go to college because my dad, told my mom before he died, make sure those boys go to college. My dad died when I was 10 years old. And I only got in sales because I didn't want to do these other jobs. I didn't want to go do the fishing boats because when I was out there, all I did was I had too much free time. I hated being on the fishing boats. I didn't mind the work. I minded all the downtime. Out of a 12-hour day, I worked 3 hours, and 9 hours I sat around and just looked around and read books. And most of those books weren't going to help me any. These were summer jobs that I was doing. Went to college, finished in college with a C average, McNeese State University. I'm an alumni there now. I don't even know what that alumni means, actually. Okay, I barely got through college. Don't even know how I got through college. I get out of college, and I can't get a job. So the way I got in sales, and I'd love to hear your story on Twitter. If you were made for sales, if you went to college to get a sales job, I want to know it. Hit me on Twitter at Grant Cardone. The hashtag we're using is Cardone Sales Tips. Okay, and we'll see those, and we're going to be giving free goodies away throughout the day. Look, when I got in sales because of one reason. I couldn't get a job. Okay, period. I literally was in an unemployment line about 4 months after I graduated. It was 1981. Ooh.
Now, this is going to be very important for you to understand this, and then we're going to dive into the tips. 1981, I'm getting out of college, 24% unemployment where I live. I didn't know what that meant. They didn't teach you at college. I got an accounting degree, and they didn't teach me what 24% unemployment meant to my future. So I get out of college, I go to get a job. I can't get anybody to hire me, okay? 3-4 months after I get out of college, I go to the unemployment line because I'm like, I want some money. A buddy told me, he's like, hey, man, go get some government money, dude. Everybody's doing it. I'm like, well, how do I do that? I didn't even know how to do that, right? They don't teach you how to go get government money 25 years ago. So I go stand in the line. I'm sitting there waiting. There's 13 people in front of me. Now there's 12 people. Now there's 11 people. Now there's 10 people. And I hate what I'm doing. I mean, I don't even know how much money they're going to give me, but I hate waiting. I hated you guys having to wait for 8 minutes listening to Jared, talk about how he needed something to drink. So my uncle, thank God, my uncle drives up, sees me in the line, gets out of his car, walks up and says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Man, I'm trying to get some unemployment money." Now, keep in mind, my dad had died about 12 years before that, and my uncle took some interest in me, Uncle Vincent. And Uncle Vincent says, "Get out of this line and go get a job." I'm like, "What do you mean, man? There's no work." He's like, "Look, your job is to get a job." That changed my life when he told me that. I said, "Yeah, what am I doing here? My job's to get a job. The truth is you're never out of work." And then he reminded me of something my dad had told my mom before he died, which was tell those boys if they learn to sell, they can go anywhere and they can do anything. And I'll show you that image later. So I go to a car dealership. He tells me exactly where to go. Go to a car dealership. Guys, I got a friend there. His name's Rip Collins. Imagine that. Rip Collins. You're a car dealer and your first name is Rip. Okay. How you true car that? Okay. So Rip Collins, I go to Rip Collins. I say, "Look, I'm a high school graduate. I know Vincent Neal. He sent me over here. I'm a high school graduate. I'm a college graduate. I got an accounting degree." And he's like, "I don't think you'll make it, but I'll give you a shot." And then he said this: "The less you know, the better off you are, son. In this business, the less you know, the better off you are." And I'm like, "Man, why didn't you tell me that 5 years ago? Before I spent 40 grand on college. I'd have been here 5 years ago." I made $5,000 my first month selling cars. I hated sales. Okay, this is what you need to know. I hated sales. Any of you out there that are watching this or listening to this, and you're like, "Oh, he sounds like a salesman. He's a born salesman." I was born a baby just like you. In fact, I was born a baby twin. There was two of us. And all we knew is we were both hungry all the time. Okay, and whoever got to the milk first got the milk first. And we were hungry, okay? And we were sharing everything. We were sharing fluids for 9 months, okay? When I got in sales, I hated sales. And this is what I hated about it. I hated the rejection.
If you're not a barn salesperson, you know what I'm talking about. You know that rejection where you're like, oh my gosh, and you don't even want to go wait on anybody again. I hated the label. I hated being labeled a salesperson, and I hated the ups and downs. And this went on for 2 years. And then I had this look around moment. If you've ever had this look around moment, the look around moment, you know, when you're looking around, you're like, you have this moment where you're looking around and things don't look so cool. You know, if you've never had that moment where you're sitting around the asylum, the institution, your family, maybe you're at Thanksgiving dinner, you're sitting around, I'm looking Gene's over there. Gene's been selling for 14, 15 years. Jose's been selling for about 15 years. Kenny's been selling his whole life, skipping from town to town, can't put 2 cents together. Jimmy's overweight and been in sales for 30 years and complete slob. And Bobby was the well-dressed one. He was all put together, and he was the most disgusting of the bunch. And I worked with these guys every day. Now, these aren't pictures of Gene, Jose, Jimmy, Kenny, and Bobby. And look, there was a time when Gene, Jose, Jimmy, Kenny, and Bobby were actually role models for me. Somewhere's 2 years into doing this deal, ups and downs, lots of rejection, a $5,000 month, and it all went downhill from there. One day I had this aha moment. Dude, I'm going to turn out like these people. And I didn't want to turn out like these people. Have you had that moment yet? I'd love to hear from you on Twitter if you've had that moment. Hashtag Cardone Sales Tips. Have you had the moment where you were sick and tired of being sick and tired? Because I had it. I had the aha moment. I'm like, man, I'm blaming the profession. I'm blaming the industry. I'm blaming management. I'm blaming the customer, and I'm blaming the economy. Salespeople do this, and they do it too often. Do you know salespeople that are blaming the profession of sales, the industry that you're in? Maybe in that case, I was in automotive, or maybe you're in insurance, or maybe you're in network marketing. And you know how many network marketing companies we work for, Jared, and how many of them say, you know, just network marketing, man, it's the pyramid thing and only a few people win. And dude, you're blaming the industry. Or maybe you're blaming management. You hate your manager. I get that call every week. What do I do with the manager that's holding me down? I did all this and more. I blame the customers, people that were coming in with money in their pockets that had more money than I did. We got used to blaming those people, saying they took too long. They had to think about it. They couldn't make decisions. The guy had to talk to his wife. He wasted my time. He was just a lookie. They got a budget. I know you hear all those things. You hear them every day. And then we blame the economy, because the economy was easy to blame back then. There was 24% unemployment. 1 out of 4 people were out of work. By the way, most of these guys were out of work every day. Didn't even know it. They worked 10 and 12-hour days doing nothing. So I remember at this aha moment when I looked around my environment and said, oh my God, I cannot turn out like this. I remember my dad, who only lived 9.5 years of my life, who told my mother in Houston, Texas, as he sat in intensive care for 21 days, he actually was never more than horizontal. For 21 days, he was on his back. The day they were going to release him was the day he died. The day before he died, 20 days into intensive care, which is, if you look at any insurance charts, nobody can stay in intensive care 20 days. Okay, it's like 2 days and you're out. Over that, you're dead. The day they were going to release him, the day before that, he told my mom, tell those boys, if this doesn't go right, tell those boys 2 things. Go to college and learn how to sell. Because if you can learn how to sell, you can go anywhere and you can do whatever you want. So God bless my dad. He taught me how to work hard. He taught me work ethic. He impregnated me with this idea that, man, I need to get up and get out. And the way he lived his life, the way my father lived his life every day around people, around work, around his family, showing up every day was an inspiration to me. And it was there. It was that light bulb sitting in me. And when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and one day made a decision, dude, you know what? I'm going to get my game on here. Before I quit this industry, I'm going to get great at it. I got to learn how to sell. And when the student, as they say, you ever heard this, Jared? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Dude, next thing I did, literally overnight, I look up and there's information everywhere. Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, man. There was books everywhere. I started reading books, consuming books, eating books, buried myself in everything, sales, everything, inspiration, anything and everything I could do to get my hands on. Folks, I challenge you, okay? I challenge you. Wake up, number one. Number two, For every freaking selfie you take, read one book. For every selfie that you take of yourself, at least read one book. I tell you what, I'll make it easy on you. Just read one damn chapter of a book, okay? So I started reading these guys, and they started changing me. It changed my attitude. And then I started consuming books, and I realized here I am 25 years old. I was 25 years old at this time. Is that right? Yeah, 25 years old. And I started consuming everything. I started buying books. I don't even finish them. I eat a chapter. I eat a page. You know, I buy 2 and 3 books at a time. Next thing I know, my income's going up. My attitude's different. I'm not going up and down anymore. And then I get turned on. This is, let's see, 30 years ago. I'm 25 years old. I start doing video training and role playing every day. Every day I wake up. I was introduced to a guy named Ray Sullivan. Ray Sullivan took interest in me, and Ray Sullivan comes up to me one day and says, "Hey man, listen to this." And he throws a cassette at me. And it's actually true. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay. I don't know if you're ready or not. I don't know if I'm your teacher. I don't know if I have anything to give you. I know this. When I dig into this thing today, I don't care how good you are at sales. I'm going to give you some information today that I promise you've never heard anywhere. It's not an overstatement. It'll take a game to another level, but you got to be ready. See, I was ready at 25 years old, and I got this cassette tape from a guy named Jackie Cooper. Jackie Cooper was a sales trainer. He was the first sales trainer I was ever introduced to. He's a Southern guy from South Carolina, Spartanburg, South Carolina, and it was a cassette tape. And I listened to this cassette tape. I must have listened to it 50 times in a week, over and over and over again. I'm like, oh, wow, there's a way to sell. Now, keep in mind, I'm 23 years old, not 25. I'm 23 years old at this point. I've been selling for 2 years. I hate it. Income's up and down. Start to read books. I get this Jackie Cooper's thing. It's got an 800 number on it. I call the 800 number, and they're like, we have video programs for sale. It was the old Betamax. I said, how much are they? $3,000. I said, I'll call you back. Hung up the phone, called my mom. I didn't have $3,000. Called my mom. I said, Mom, I need $3,000. I'll borrow it from you. I'll pay you back in 90 days. Okay. Got her credit card, paid for the $3,000. Okay. Paid my mom back in 30 days. My income went to $10,000 the first month. I took his videos. There was 12 videos. Keep in mind, this is 30 years ago. Betamax, the big giant. You guys remember the big giant Betamax? If you remember Jackie Cooper, man, that guy was a storytelling fool. That guy could tell a story better than anybody. And the beautiful part about telling a story is you can remember a story when you tell a story. And this guy was a master at it. He sent me these 12 videos, and I watched these videos every morning. I woke up and watched the videos. I got to work 1 hour early every day. I role played with my boy Mike Porter. You can see in this late Charles paper right here. I did a sales meeting with Mike every day. We planned my day out every day. We did video role playing. I'd get in front of a video camera and actually handle customers' objections before I had a customer. And at the end of the day, I'd go home about 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I was always the last person there because now I'm excited. See, it's easy to stay there when you're committed. At the end of the day, 10 o'clock at night, I'd watch one more video. I'd watch a video in the morning and a video at night. The only place we had VCRs or Betamax machines was at home. The car dealership I worked at wouldn't spend any money on this stuff. So I did it myself. I paid my mom back 30 days later. I made $10,000 that month. Where are you going to start? Okay. I've already given you where you need to start. You have to start with you. If you're going to be great at sales, and I would assume that everybody here today, I mean, I got a little baby right here. I got Gentry Young. Got a photo right here of her little baby reading Sell or Be Sold right now. Where are you going to start, folks? You don't start with your kids. You know where you start? You start with you. You don't start with me. You start with you. You don't start with one of my books. You start with you. You don't start with the product, the company. You start with you. You have to pick you to get handled first. So I'm going to give you this, and then we're going to take some questions. But I want you to think about, before we dive into the sales content, your condition. What is your personal condition like? Your mental condition? How are you dressing? How do you feel about yourself? At 23 years old, I did not feel good about myself. I had not made a decision to be great. I allowed myself to be pulled down to the environment around me. You must decide to be great. Hashtag be great. because nothing else pays. You got to be great, baby, because great is the only thing that pays anybody today. The median income in America today is $51,000. It's been there for 20 years. It's going down. Why? Too many people accepting average. I want you to make a decision now to be not the best in your company, but the best in your industry. Not first in your city, but first in your state, then first in your region, then first in the country. And hey, man, while you're at it, climb all up to outstanding, excellent, be first around the world, and money will flow to you. It will get so easy, but you have to make that commitment first. Quit being average, break out of the middle, sell to your potential, not your quota. I remember Bobby Brown. I've been on fire now. I'm 26, 27 years old. I'm on fire, okay? I mean, managers can't even talk to me. I'm starting to cock around, got big ego. You know, I'm a prima donna. I'm putting more product on the board, man, than 5 and 6 guys. Jose, Jimmy, Kenny, Bobby, nobody, dude. I got a manager, Bobby, telling me there's no deal. I'm like, give it back to me. I'll show you there's a deal. When I'm done with them, I'll come do you. I mean, I was freaking like, I was scared. I was literally scared to be around myself. I'd get on streaks where I was so hot that I was scared to be around myself because I was scared. I was scared I'd buy from my damn self. And then I'm starting to get good, and I start settling out. And then I read something out of one of Napoleon Hill's books about success, being the jump, or being the achievement, the interest in the future. This image right here: sell to your potential, not your quota. Quit letting managers give you a quota. You need to sell to your potential, not your quota. It is not your quota that matters. It is your potential that matters. How many people do we have on right? 1,001 people. We full house. I apologize to those of you who stayed late. But you see, you got used to staying late, or showing up late, because in our culture today, it's all right to show up late for the sales meeting, late on the clock, late to a customer. Success lies in your potential. Anybody can make an excuse, folks, okay? Ethics. 25 years old, I had a big ethics lesson. I learned how to get ethics in my life. I quit drinking, quit smoking weed, quit going out, quit partying, no more wasting time with people that I didn't want to be with. It was completely ethical. I quit lying to people, quit taking shortcuts, cleaned up anything and everything I had done wrong with anybody, like Market Basket. I worked for this Market Basket when I was 14 years old, and I stole quarters from them all the time, and it bugged me. And it actually held me back from being a great salesperson, because I remember ripping people off. And I'm going into these deals, and people are saying I'm a ripoff. And every time they say that, I'm being reminded of the time that I ripped this grocery store off for $80 or something. I went and gave that $80 back to that grocery store and cleaned it up. They didn't care about it, right? But I cleaned up my stuff. Quit drinking, quit hanging out, quit doing the hangovers, watch the people. And when my ethics got in place, let me tell you something. There is nothing more powerful in the close than a salesperson that is ethical, because your power to push, to insist, to close is on the future, because you know your value. See, the idea that you would even tell a customer, I really follow you up good. I'm going to really do more than the guy down the street. When you tell somebody you're gonna and you don't, that's unethical. And so whatever I started telling my customers I was going to do, I did it. And then I became obsessed. If you're going to start with you, folks, you got to start with you. It's not about drinking the Kool-Aid. It's about swimming in it. You got to go all in now. You got to get obsessed. Eat it, drink it, breathe it, inject sales into your IV drip. There's no such thing as a great salesperson, or there's no such thing actually as a great person, period, that was not first obsessed with the things before you knew his name. Pick them. From Jesus Christ to Steve Jobs, they were all maniacs, completely obsessed, all in, overboard, maniacs, fanatics, call them what you want. They were obsessed. No more storytelling, baby. No more building rapport or getting on common ground. Okay, let me tell you what I need you to know. Okay, I ain't just like you. I ain't just like most people. Let's just keep it real. I'm not a politician. And when I was 25 years old, I decided not to be like everybody else. I'm done being like everybody else. I'm done trying to fit in. I'm 25 years old and I'm broke, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done trying to win over everybody else. I'd rather be disliked by the people I don't know, don't care about, and don't pay my bills. And I'd like to like my damn self. That's what I'd like to do. And I like myself when I'm more successful. Okay. The first thing you got to understand is this, folks. In sales, you got to understand rejection. Rejection. Rejection is the emotion experienced by those that don't have enough going on in their pipeline. You guys with me? Rejection is the emotion experienced by those of you who don't have enough going on in your pipeline. So if you think rejection is your problem, oh man, I can't do sales. I'm not good for sales. Sales is a problem. When a customer tells you no and it kills you and knocks the breath out of you for 3 days, you need to understand this. That's not about that customer. That's not about that emotion. It's about the reality that you're aware now that your operating basis is broken. This happened to me in 2008 when the economy collapsed. I watched all this wealth go out. I was blaming the economy. The reality is my situation, hashtag situation. Situation's a bad thing. Every situation you've ever had in your damn life has been bad. I was on a flight from Columbus, Ohio to Denver, Colorado, and a boat just over Chicago. The flight attendant comes to me. This is probably 15 years ago. Flight attendant says, sir, I need to ask you, gentlemen up front, I need to ask you, we have a situation. I need you to go to the back of the plane. Everybody got up and went down like robots. Okay. Now I've been out on the road. I've traveled 1 million miles. I looked at the lady. I'm like, I'm happy to move, but what's the situation? Because situation is not a good word. If you have a situation in your life, you got a problem. And she's like, we think there might be a bomb in the galley. Okay, well, that'd be worth moving in the back of the plane. But I don't know how that's going to help us in the back of the plane. But look, when you don't know what else to do, you just do what other people tell you to do. Now, the plane didn't blow up, and that's why I'm here. Okay. Now, I tell you that to tell you this. In 2008, when the economy collapsed and my business goes to hell and tremendous amounts of wealth go out, okay, I had spent 20 years creating wealth for myself in 3 businesses, and I couldn't grab any of it. It was gone. That's a situation. And a situation is a departure from the scene you want. And every situation you have in your life, from car wrecks to breakups to no money, you have something to do with. You say they're emotional, and I say no. It's an example that your game is broken. Rejection is the emotion experience mislabeled by those who don't have enough in your pipeline. If you're a manager, you need to tell your salespeople that are suffering from rejection, hey, knock it off. You're not having a freaking emotional breakdown here. Your business is broken. You don't have enough in your pipeline. Okay, when I wrote If You're Not First, You're Last, this was the 3rd of 4 books that I wrote in 5 years. This book is a prospecting book. This book is about filling your pipeline up. Most people thought this book was about being first. The truth is, the book is not about being first in the market. It's about being a dominating force in the consumer's mind. It was about filling a pipeline up so heavy that I no longer need one network, one cable outlet, one customer, one client, one segment of the market, because I'm everywhere. Okay. When you're that big, when you're everywhere, okay, I don't need to take a deal from CNBC for, like, we did this reality TV show called Whatever It Takes, the reality show, the ultimate job search, the ultimate job interview. I had 2 offers from networks. We're not selling it to either one of them because the offer wasn't good enough. Why? Because I get my pipeline big enough. I don't have to be dependent upon one thing. Rejection is the emotion experienced by those that don't have enough going on in your pipeline. If you can get that right, if you understand that, if you wrap your head around that, I'm telling you, your sales, just for the month of November, Black November, you'll make it black and blue, Jared. Sales secrets, number 2, okay? Sales secrets, number 2, the buyer insistent magic. Can I say magic on a webinar?
Yeah.
I'm using the M word. I'm using the M word, baby. We're saying magic, okay? This is magic. Now, this is a phenomenon that's taken me about 30 years to actually understand. And this phenomenon, I'm unable to validate this theory in the physical universe. But I know for sure, 50 years from now, I will be known for this phenomenon. Why are you laughing, dog?
Because that's funny, man.
That ain't funny, man.
That's funny, man.
I'm predicting the future, boy. You know what I almost said.
I know.
Okay? The buyer's insistence. The more the buyer insists that they won't do something or will do something, the more likely they will or won't. Let me explain that to you. When the buyer says to you, I will not do this today, no matter what you do, I will not buy, you need to shift your thinking to understanding the more they insist they won't do something, the more likely they are to do something. I could give you examples from my personal life, particularly when I was single. When a woman would tell me, no way, will never happen, for sure. I mean, she was bringing it up before I was, right? And the next thing you know, it happened. It's magic. It's magic. I'll tell you about an example happened this past Tuesday night. Charles Crist, who ran for governor in the state of Florida, made it clear over the last 9 months he would not invest his own money in an election run for governor of the state of Florida. Over and over and over. I told my wife 9 months ago, listen to Charles Crist. I will not spend any of my own money on this platform. I will not spend any money. He said it over and over again. The more they say it, the more likely they are to actually do the exact thing they're resisting to do. Charlie Crist spent $20 million in the last 10 days of his 9-month or a year and a half run, really. But the last 9 months has been the kicker, right? Think about a customer. Think about a customer that you've had before that says, no way, there's nothing you can do. I will not do this. And you did. Think about the time you were in a casino. I'm not going to make one more bet. If I lose this bet, I am freaking out of here. Okay? And what are you doing? You lose the bet, reach in your pocket. Hey, where's that ATM machine at, man? You wouldn't need an ATM machine if you learned how to sell, bro. Your front pocket would be full all the time. Okay? How many times have you said to yourself, I'm not going to have another drink. We're not going to do another one of these. We'll never do this again. Or you told the kids, don't ask me again. You ask me one more time. I've told you 100 times, Jared. Jared, what's that story you tell about your dad when he'd blow up? You know, your dad would blow up and say, no.
Oh, yeah.
And then flip on you?
Man, well, you know, because I was born with the persistence gene. And, you know, I'd ask and I'd ask and I'd ask and I'd ask and I'd ask. And, you know, I knew when I got to like 30 or 40 asks that it was right in the middle there somewhere. He'd just blow up and say, okay, you do whatever you want to do. I'm okay.
And let me just say that Miguel Morales just said, hey, man, I ain't got Twitter. I said, and then I'm posting back to him. I'll send this out to everybody. If you don't have the Twitter, then you ain't winning nothing today. That's just the way that is. Okay? And if you ain't never going to get the Twitter, I'm pretty sure you'll be signing up before the weekend's over because your insistence not to would suggest that you're uncovering some need to do something. So this is what I want you to do, okay? If you're taking notes, I want you to write down. The more the buyer insists, the more energy the buyer has about insisting on this position. It's like Uriah Faber was on with me. He's a number 2 bantamweight in the world. He was on Power Players on Whatever It Takes Network. And he said, look, he's a little guy, dude. The guy weighs 140 pounds, 30 pounds less than me. And he says, look, I'm going to use your energy. The more energy you come at with me with not, there's a lot of energy in that. Not buying, not going to do it, not going to do this. We won't spend over that. We got a budget. We got to stay with that. We're not doing anything till the quarter. The more insistence, I want you to turn that energy and understand that energy of no could actually be a yes. A sales secret number 3. Always agree with the customer. I don't care how stupid they are, how wrong they are, how dumb it is, how ridiculous. Anything to do with no, not, never, can't, won't, don't use them. If you're a professional in sales, you're selling medical devices, If you're a doctor, okay, you're a chiropractor and you have a service, and I'm like, I just want to get one adjustment, and that's all I want to get. And your program is 12 adjustments or you don't take the money, you better not tell the customer no. Don't tell them no. Don't tell them not. Don't tell them never. Don't say can't or won't. No matter what the buyer says or states, do not disagree. Now, I want to make sure that you get your management team to know this information, because I'm telling you something. You think this is a simple little thing. Jared, how hard is it to break our sales team from this bad habit right here?
Oh man, it drilling on a constant basis.
We don't do that. We can't do that.
Oh yeah, we can.
That can't happen.
Oh yeah.
We got a policy against it. Oh no, Grant won't do that. Okay, we don't do month to month. I hear that all the time from the office. I'm like, what are you doing? What do you mean month to month? I had a guy, we do these contracts, okay? We like contracts because we like committed clients. And we do these 36-month contracts for this program that we have, this online university. It's basically a $40,000 sale. And maybe you've seen some of my calls on YouTube where the client's saying, I don't sign contracts, okay? The salespeople mishandle it. We got to have a contract. You're disagreeing with the client, man. You're literally going to make his energy, you're just going to go against him, and he's going to get strong. He's going to get fixed on what not to do. You want to agree with people. So I heard one of my salespeople messing this up today. Now, we role play every day. Every day we role play. Every day we have a sales meeting. Every day we're working on it. Every day my people are required to watch the programs, and we still make mistakes. See, the problem is a lot of you out there, you're not training at all. You're not doing sales meetings at all. You're just more likely to make more mistakes. We're doing this every day, and we still make mistakes. So I jumped off the phone call I was in. I ran in there. I grabbed the phone. And I told the guy, I said, sir, you don't want to do a contract? No, man, I don't want to do a contract. Good, then we won't do it. We'll do minute to minute. Huh? We'll do second to second, baby. What second to second? We just quit whenever you want to quit, man. Whatever you want to do, I'm cool with, man. Whatever. Sounds like a Jello. Whatever it takes. So why am I doing that? Why am I telling somebody I'm going to do something I won't do? Because I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you right now. How does that work? How do you tell somebody yes when it's not yes? This is how you do it, okay? So, for instance, let's say you have a product. If you're taking notes, you want to write this down, okay? I'm going to give you an example, a situation. Let's say you have a product and you presented some number, $42,000 to the client. The client says, no, there's no way, man. I took it to corporate, 42 grand. We can't do it. We can do 36. Now, what do you know now? You have a buyer. You have a decision maker and a buyer. And you have somebody 3 that wants your product. See, this is what you have to know. This is why it's so important that you train every day, that you know where you're at in this deal. I have a buyer for 36. All I got to do is sell 6,000. All I got to do is get the move to 6. How do you do that? The first thing you do is agree to the 36. Hey, I went back to our team. We'll take the 36. Let's do the 36. We're all in on the 36. 36 is great. We appreciate the offer. We appreciate your desire to do business with us. We appreciate, can we get it done this quarter? Oh, yeah, we can get it done right now. If you can do 36, we're all in. We're in. See, now everybody's in. Everybody's sitting at the same table mentally. See, the first sale you have to make to people, I don't care if your sales are made on the phone, on the internet, from home, tangible, intangible, insurance, a car, plumbing, contracting, chiropractors, dental implants, or some high chews. We do high chews?
Oh, yeah, we love high chews.
We love high chews. High chews is the candy you eat, okay? It's a little tiny candy. We got any high chews? Man, I love high chews.
We'll get you some.
They good on the mouth, hard on the stomach. High chew. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is agree. We're going to do the 36, and I got to remove something from the offer. Do you see the difference? I'm doing an apartment deal right now. Okay. I'll give you an example of an apartment deal. It's not a $36,000 deal anymore. Now it's a big deal. Now we're into big money, big people, no emotions. That's what they say about commercial real estate. Oh yeah. Nobody's emotional dude, let me tell you, when somebody mentally takes the position to sell something or buy something, they are done. Right out of sell or be sold. Who is the most sold in the transaction? Who is the most sold mentally in the transaction? Because until I get somebody mentally, completely all in sold, I cannot move them on the difference, that thing that they're arguing about. Okay? Always, 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 always agree. I'll give you another example. Should I give another example, Jared?
Oh, yeah, I think you definitely should.
I'm buying 826 units, apartments in Nashville, Tennessee. I have the contract now, so I can make this public. 2 months ago, when we started this contract, the seller said to me in the first phone call, do not retrade us. They had just blown out of a contract. I came in, somebody told me about the deal. I'm a buyer for your deal. First thing I do is use the agreement. The magic of agreement, the power of agreement is so unbelievable. It literally dissolves all problems. Okay, it takes energy away from the client. I said, look, man, I know about your 826 units in Nashville. I love Nashville. I want Nashville. I want to buy Nashville. I'm committed to Nashville. I like 1970s product. I like it old. I like middle level. I like stuff that hadn't been taken care of. That's a good value add for me. Okay. It's got existing debt on it. That doesn't bother me at all. All those things are bad. Everything I just told you about buying a deal is bad. You have existing debt. You hadn't done anything with it. It's 1970s product. What am I telling him? I'm selling him. I'm not buying. I'm selling. You get it? I'm selling the client that is the salesperson. Always, always, always agree. So, hey, man, we don't want you retrading us. Why would I retrade you? I don't want to retrade you. I think you get a fair price. I tell you what, I guarantee you I won't retrade you. Now, watch. When he said, I don't want anybody retrading me, what do I know right now based on rule number 2? The buyer's insistence magic.
What does retrade mean for people who may not know?
Retrade means we agree to a number, and then I come back in before closing and say, hey, I can't pay you all that. In this case, I can't pay you that number. I got to pay you a less number. 823 units. It's more than $6,000. Okay. So the retrade was enormous. How do you get a big retrade from a professional group out of Chicago that's been doing real estate longer than I've been alive? You got to know your game. You got to know your game. Okay. Opportunity. It will knock over and over and over and over in your lifetime. It will knock every day. And most people don't even know what it looks like when they open the door. Okay. And when they open the door and they see its opportunity, do you know how to capitalize on it? That's what you got to understand. That is the beauty of understanding sales as a master, not as an amateur. So when I heard the guy say to me on the first call, don't retrade. Said it a second time, we don't want any retrade. Said it a third time, do not retrade us. What do I know? I got to retrade you, dog. I'm going to have to be retrading you here at some point. So what I do, I go in a massive agreement, love the product, love the year, love it all, put it under contract, and I retrade it. Agreement defined. Agreement is a verb. To agree is a verb. It is an action. It's something you do. It does not put you in a passive role. Most people think that if I tell somebody, Jared, we hear this from people that we hire. Hey, man, if I tell the guy all this, I show my underbelly and I become a victim. You know, that they're going to take advantage of me. No, agree is a verb. It is not a victim's position. You agree with somebody. That means you have the same opinion as someone else. You concur. Words like, I completely agree with you. You are right. I have thought exactly the same thing. So when these people are talking to me about retrade, what am I saying? Yeah, I hate people retrading. Dude, it's wrong. It's a terrible thing to do. I don't ever retrade anybody unless, of course, the product they're presenting to me is not what they presented. At which time, Brian, I told the man, I said, I'm not going to retrade you. I'm just going to walk away from the contract. So how did I retrade him? I got a pass, dude. Told you I wouldn't retrade you. You know what he says? How much? And we're friends.
Oh, okay.
Let's say you're not in sales. Do you think you're not going to go through those 3 situations that I just went through? You don't think it starts with you? You don't think you need to learn how to agree with people? There's 7 billion people on this planet. You better learn how to agree with them. Last night I was on a phone call with a group out of China. 8:30 at night. You guys are going out to drinks. And I'm on 8:30 on a phone call with 4 Chinese people that run a bank in China, okay, the 3rd largest bank in China. I'm negotiating on a piece of equipment I've never bought, never been involved with, 2 lawyers, a technical person, and the CLC, which is one of the largest leasing companies for this bank. I'm using sales tech on them. I'm using my sales tech on them to get a transaction that's most favorable for me, my family, my business. And that's what sales is. Sales is not some polyester slacks walking out selling a product and putting it in somebody's hand. Your life depends on selling. Hit it, Jared.
So we got a question here from Roderick O'Quinn.
Yes.
I lost a sale today because the customer wanted to try our marketing for free. I said no. Should I have offered to bring it to the CEO and get back to him?
You should say done. You want it for free? Done. Let's handle it. We had dinner. What was the person we had dinner with 2 nights?
Dwayne. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't call you back for 3 years.
Literally, I followed up with the guy for 2.5 years, and I never spoke with him once. And we went out and we were meeting for drinks. This is the first time I've actually, shaken the guy's hand since I've known him. And I asked him, I said, after he told me, he said, hey, thanks so much for coming out here. We're doing the deal.
First time we got in front of him, he shut down.
Yep.
Okay. What I mean by shut down is he bought. I just walked up to him. I said, hey, Dwayne, why haven't you been returning? I got him a drink. Drinks always help, right? Why didn't you do the deal? I'm just curious. I mean, you don't have to do the deal. You never have to do the deal. You guys are doing great. You make a lot of money. There's no really reason for you to do the deal. I mean, unless you just want to educate your people, feel some kind of obligation to teach people, educate people, make sure they're doing. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You're already making money. See, what am I doing right now? I'm making him right. I'm using this agreement thing. I'm using it all the time with everybody. You got to learn how to use it all the time. I'm like, let me ask you a question. Now, managers, if you're a manager, you need to write this question down. Why didn't you return Jared's calls? Why hadn't you bought our product yet? It is that open and shut. It's that clear. So if you're a manager, I want you to write this down as one of your notes, one of your big takeaways. Why didn't you return? I have 2 questions. Why didn't you return Jared's call? And number 2, why haven't you bought our product yet? Did I sell anything? Did I present our product? Did I talk about the product? Jared, did you hear me doing any selling there that night?
No.
What did I ask him?
Not at all.
Why didn't you call Jared back? First of all, I unsold him. I made him right for not buying our product. You don't need it. You're doing great. There's no reason for you to do it. I mean, you don't need to do it. You're making tons of money right now. I mean, unless, of course, you feel an obligation to teach people, educate people, take care of people, and you want the families of your company doing better. But, I mean, really, you don't need to do this, dude. You guys are freaking killing it right now. You see what I'm doing? I'm making him right. I'm not selling my product. I'm giving him yes. I'm always agree. I'm pouring on the agreement. And then I asked him the 2 killer questions. As a manager of other salespeople, hey, why didn't you return his phone call? Which wouldn't be necessary in most cases to ask that, but I knew why. And number 2, why didn't you buy our product? The reason he hadn't returned our phone call, this is what came out of his mouth. Because I knew, man, if I returned the phone call, I'd buy from you guys. Those people out there that can use your product and are not returning your phone call, don't think that they don't care. Maybe start thinking, wow, maybe they're really easy to close if I try something other than the phone. All right. So what do I have so far? What have I given you so far? Sales secrets, understanding rejection, buyer's insistence, always agree. Okay. Show proposals to everyone. Sales tip number 4. Okay. No matter what, I want you to show a proposal, a written proposal to every customer, whether you got to fax it, email it, scan it, or write it up by hand. I don't care if you do it on freaking toilet paper or nice paper. You get a written proposal to every customer. We just did a mystery shop campaign for a Fortune 100 company in the United States. By the way, I've done work with Google. Jared, you want to help me with names?
Google,
WebEx,
Apple, Microsoft.
Keep going.
Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley. That was
Aflac.
a good one. Morgan Stanley was a good
That
one.
was
Juicy.
That was a real good one.
That was a juicy 1 hour.
That was real good one.
I don't know why they do 1 hour though, man. I don't know why people.
Reinhardt Food Service. I saw Frank Sadowski on the webinar here. Chrysler.
Who else?
Gold's Gym. Kawasaki.
Nissan.
Infinity.
Hawker.
MIT. You spoke at MIT.
That's a place you go.
Yeah, but MIT. There's that's the real deal right there.
Yeah. So check it out. 70%, actually 72% of all salespeople never present a proposal to a customer. Go to Sears, J.C. Penney, go to Macy's, go to Bloomingdale's, go to Saks Fifth Avenue, go to almost any car dealership in America. Call a plumber over to your house, a contractor. Call over a chiropractor. Go see a dentist, or I tell you what, go see a dentist about an implant. I need some teeth. I want to give me some new teeth in my face because I'm tired of my bad teeth in my face. How much for some new teeth? New teeth are about $22,000, Jared. You know that?
Really?
Go get some plugs like Jared got.
How
in
do
the
you
top
got this head of hair, man?
Get that big wave going, okay? That's going to cost you probably $8,000. Go get the tin chucked, okay? Go get the little things up on the chest, all right? Those are going to be $5,500. People are going to tell you how much it is. They're going to talk to you about how much it is. They're going to sell you. They're going to tell you about the product. They're going to give you a brochure. Write the offer up. If you would present to 100% of the people, okay, you will take your closing ratio from 8 or 10% that it is right now and triple it by doing one thing: write everyone up. In fact, it's the first thing that I would tell everybody to do, because you don't have time to train, educate, because 50% of all managers do not admit that they do not have time to educate and train and motivate their people. Since you don't have time to train, educate, and motivate your people, just do this. Since you don't have the tools, the information, the data, the content, the time, don't train them. Just increase the number of transactions you write up. Where every time you get to the bat, swing the bat. Write them up. No wife, no, not ready, no budget, not today, not the decision maker. No matter what the buyer says, write a proposal. 87% of all salespeople miss quota, and this is a major reason why. Do you remember the numbers, Jared, of what we did for the major manufacturer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
there were 3 metrics that we shifted there literally in a 20-day period of time in a Fortune 100 company.
There was a reduction in employee turnover of 84%. There was a increase in customer satisfaction from second to last in the category to second overall.
Biggest single move for this company in
J.D. Power's history.
Okay.
And there was a 16-point increase in customer satisfaction.
There's a company in Fort Lauderdale, just about an hour from here. They're on a program, an online platform that we use. And we did an actual comparison with a company that did not, similar company, same product, same size company in a similar market that does not have the product. Now, the gentleman in Fort Lauderdale it's required, mandatory, that each salesperson do 5 segments on this platform each day. These segments are 2 minutes long, 2 to 3 minutes long. They're little short video clips of me. They're delivered to the phone, to the tablet, to a computer. Anywhere you go, you just log on and boom, it's right there. Not back like 30 years ago when you had to go find the Betamax. You had to go find the tape, put it in the car. I remember going in my car and listening in between customers. Oh, should I blew that deal? What should I do? Today, with technology the way it is, we basically tap into the cloud and send information down to these people in Fort Lauderdale in real time, handling the problem they have. One company in Fort Lauderdale, another company in New York. One has the program, one doesn't have the program. In 1 month, in 30-day period of time, just happened 2 months ago, the store in Fort Lauderdale outsold the other store by 1 unit and made $1 million more money. Training works, folks. The reason training does not work is because there's only one reason training doesn't work, is because you don't do enough of it. It needs to be available every second of every day, 365, 24/7, handling the problems that I have.
So, hey, from Daisy Sandoval, what do you say in 60 seconds to sell yourself to get a job?
Oh, man, that's an easy one. First of all, you should check out my 12 tips. I think that's actually the only place you can get that now is Cardone University. I have a job hiring platform sitting on our university called Cardone Sales University. There's 12 tips to getting a job. First thing you want to do is you want to target down to 5 people. It sounds like she has. Is that right, Jared?
She's just asking generally.
Okay, but it sounds like she knows where she wants. You want to target down to 5 people, get the owner's name, the entrepreneur must be a decision maker. This is straight out of this book, Closer Survival Guide. This book has nothing to do with jobs, everything to do with decision making. You want a job? You need to be in front of a decision maker. No decision maker, no job. HR person, bad job. Okay, you get to wait, you get to think about it because HR people don't make decisions. So if she's in front of that person, What I'm going to tell that person right now is this. I'm going to take my resume in with me like I would a brochure as a salesperson. Sir, here's my resume. All the data on the resume is right there. I'm going to leave that for you to look at, sir. Let me just tell you something. Look at me, not that resume. I guarantee you, look them dead in the eyes. I guarantee I will be the best hire you make in your career. Guarantee it. I'll tell you what, if I'm not the best hire in 30 days from now, if I'm not the best hire, you did it to me, dude. Okay. If I'm not the best hire you've ever made, ever had, if I disappoint you in any way, you get rid of me 30 days from now. No questions. In fact, I'll quit if you think it's any other way. That's the kind of claim you got to make. You got to make a claim so strong, so big. Make that big claim. That goes also back to the guy that was talking about the cold calls. You got to get a big claim in your pitch. And then you got to work out all these other things. The insistence piece we talked about, always agree, write the customer up. Hey, let's do this. Want you sign right here. Give me the go ahead. I'll start right now. Jared, go ahead.
Okay.
Sounds too sales pitchy, though, but I guarantee you there's a bunch of people right now. Nah, this ain't going to work in insurance. This ain't going to work in financial services. This isn't going to work in contracting. This isn't going to work in the arts. Folks, I've worked in every one of those categories. Okay. What I'm telling you works in anything. Don't tell me it doesn't work. I've sold everything from dollar products to raise money for churches. Okay. Not little money, hundreds of millions of dollars. Directly responsible for going out and raising money for philanthropic activities. I've also been involved in $350 million worth of real estate transactions. I've borrowed about $150 million from lenders that didn't particularly want to lend me money at that particular time. I'm always discussing a rate, a down payment, a term, something. I'm looking for people to give me things that are favorable to me, my company. That is selling. And it works for everybody. You just got to wrap your head around it. Jerry, go ahead.
Next question's coming from, let's see here. Tom Jones. It's not unusual
to be in love with anyone.
Tom Jones asked, should a salesperson constantly be looking for a higher paying sales job with a different organization?
No, dude, you need, there ain't no greener grass, baby, okay? The greener grass still needs to be mowed, lawned, and edged. There's no shortcuts. Now, let me just say that. Since I said that, let me say this. The vehicle has to have enough acceleration to be in the right vehicle. If it can't take a long trip, well, you can only make so much money in. If it's a dying industry, go away. There's industries that are dying right now as we talk. So you got to make some decisions. Are you in the right space? The window's going to close sooner or later. If you're in a space, if you're in technology right now, I think the technology window's getting ready to get shut down on a lot of people. You see it happening. You see people dumping jobs. Microsoft's just dumping 18,000 jobs. Unemployment's going down, down, down. Wages aren't going any place. Well, there's jobs everywhere. They don't pay you anything, man.
So one more question from Daniela here. It sounds like her main question is, where do you draw the line? How do you transition from agreement?
I draw a line in the sand right
How do you transition from agreement
remember when Obama said
redirecting?
That is the line in the sand over and over? He insisted. And then he crossed it. Go ahead.
So what she's saying is,
go ahead, Jerry.
Is how can she, without giving too much up, because obviously as an employee you can only you only have so much decision making capabilities.
So she took what I said literally. This is what customers do. She said, when I said, I agree, I'll do it, no problem. See, all of your misunderstanding, that is an agreement. Doesn't mean I did it. I didn't do anything. I agreed with them. Now I have to move the ball down the field on the $6,000. So let's say the offer was 36, the product's 42. I can't sell for less than 42. I'm just using the numbers as the distinguishing moment.
No, this is good.
Okay?
A couple people asked about that.
So I'm at 36. They're at 36. I'm at 42. I know I'm at 42. I look at 42, I feed my family. At 36, we ain't doing the deal. I'll never tell a client I'm not doing the deal. If I do tell them that, it's going to be a long time from now. It won't be the first thing I say. No problem. Let's do it. I'm willing to figure it out. Okay. I wasn't thinking about that number. I thought you wanted this, and this. Okay. Let me look at it. Now I have to come back to them in the second stage preferably right now, preferably writing the customer up, preferably I have the proposal down and say the way I can do this for 36 because I want you as a client. We need you as a client. You're important as a client. You want to be hungry here. You want to act hungry. You want to act like you want the transaction. Is this too salesy? This is what you're doing. You're in the close now. This isn't about sales. This is about closing a deal. Okay. Now, I'm going to give this client options. You're going to see me offer this as a negotiating tactic because really these questions now are coming from people that don't understand. We're separating, Jared, from selling, presenting, negotiating to closing. These are three different things. If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Selling is selling. Negotiating is negotiating. You cannot close when you're negotiating. It's impossible. Now, when we do our sales IQ test, most people fail this question. Negotiating is not closing. I'm going to sell something. I'm going to negotiate something. I'm going to close something. Right now, we're negotiating. Yeah, I want to be at 36. 36 is great. I'm all good for 36. Let's do 36. And then I'm going to take a moment probably and use a third party, Jared, and come back and say, here's how we can do the 36.
Awesome.
And I might need them to have a few moments to let that 36 breathe, that we're going to do this. Really? They're going to do it? I can't believe they're going to do that. Then we agree to the 36, and then I go back to them and say, at 36, you get this, this, and this. At 39, you get this, this, and this. At 42, you get this, this, and this. We're good either way you want to go. All right. Now, when you're writing up every customer, what's that going to do? It's going to lower your closing ratio. It's going to raise the number of products you sold. Number 5, sales sequence. Always provide options. See, I was just setting up for this. Why? I know this information in my head. I know when I'm negotiating with somebody, I'm going to provide options. 1, you want to offer the customer's request. B, you want to offer a higher request. And C, you want to offer a lower request. The lady that asked that question, Jared, had she done this and initiated this, not waited for this, 42, 39, 36. Had she offered that, does that make sense, Jared?
Yeah.
She made that happen with the low offer because she never closed the door. So I want you to think about layers when you're negotiating, okay? Remember, negotiating is not closing. 42. Hang on. Don't say no. Watch. I'm working you right now. 39, writing it up on a sheet of paper, 42,000. We have another level right here at 39,000. And you could do this. If we took this and this, you'd be at 36. Jared, you want to comment on that? 36, 39, and 42.
Alternatives.
Good. What does that do? It closes out the bottom so your buyer doesn't make a stupid offer. There are certain ethnic groups in this planet, and this is not a racist comment by any means. This is how people are brought up. I was negotiating with Chinese people last night. They have a different negotiating paradigm than Americans do. Americans have a different paradigm than Australians do. Okay, if you go to a restaurant, Chinese tip different than Australians do than Americans. Australians do not tip, period. Okay, you cannot convince an Australian to tip. If you're in Miami, the tip's included. If you're in Fort Lauderdale, it's not. It's different cultures. It's got nothing to do with right or wrong, good or bad. It's social mores. And when people, different cultures, Indians, not American Indians, East Indians, negotiate different than somebody from the Mediterranean, and maybe it's from Iran. 42, 36, 39.
And then use that inventory.
Do we ever show anybody one proposal here on anything,
Mm-mm.
any product? Go to any of my website pages. You'll never, ever see one offer on any one product. When you go to the Hublot store, the watch store, the guy shouldn't show me the one watch I want. He should show me 2 watches I don't want and the one I do. He should show me 22. He should show me 38. You looking for reasons to buy or reasons not to buy? Which one you looking for? No, I'm looking for reasons to buy. Good. You just made him reasonable again. You just made him agreeable again. You just exhausted the need to fight anymore, right?
If the money were the same, which would you rather own?
Yeah, would you do this or that?
Why?
I mean, if it was 0, Jared, it's good. If it was no money, would you buy it right now? Oh yeah, dude, I'd be all in right now. Dude, what we arguing about? Why are we arguing? What the hell is going on here, man? What we arguing about, blah? Man, you want the high finish cabinets? You want to go all new? You want me to rip those boxes out?
That's
Dude,
what I
it's
want.
$40,000. That's what you want? If it cost you nothing, would you do it? You're looking for reasons to get new cabinets or reasons not to. All right, check it out. Third-party touch. I want you to make this something you do for the next 2 weeks. Have another party or multiple parties touch every prospect, customer, buyer, and non-buyer. Touch early, touch during, touch on exit, and touch in the follow-up. How long you been working with me? Come here, man.
7 months.
Okay, good. You used to do what? I want you to talk into the mic right here. There's Todd Straw, professional salesperson. We hired him from Cutco Knives.
I was selling knives. I was selling knives in the kitchen, anywhere from $500 to $2,000. And I started when I was 17. Got Grant Cardone about $80,000 in sales. Opened up a brand new office. I was looking for answers. Got a Grant Cardone "Don't Be a Little Bitch" video texted to me. I don't know if I can say that.
No cursing, man.
Itch Bay.
Itch Bay.
Anyways, so it freaks me out. I go through about an hour of Cardone videos on YouTube. Read all the books in 1 week, and in 15 months, I recruited about 1,200 people.
Yep.
Sold 1.2 million, and now I work here.
Now, the question I want to ask you is, while you were at Cutco, which is a great organization, did they ever do third-party video touches like I do for you every day?
Never.
Now, I want you to tell the truth right now. We have not rehearsed this, talked about it. How many of those do I do for you every day? What do you think?
At least 2 or 3 a day.
2 or 3 a day. I do a little video call. He grabs the
We
phone.
did one today.
You got anybody I could do right now?
Yeah, we got here.
And
This guy right here.
And then what he says, hey Grant, can you do this call? What do you think that will make this company this year? And you can tell the truth about how much more we'll make.
Well, last month we brought $249,000 last month, just for me and you in those videos.
In third-party video touch calls.
This month we're already at $50,000.
Get him ready, and I'll do him right now. We'll make it live. We'll make it Memorex. We'll make it memorable. We'll make it trend. Because I'm your friend in sales. Okay? Easiest money to ever get is the second sale money. You just sold somebody, you get the second money. Don't worry about that, okay? Second money, easiest money you will get in your lifetime. 96% of salespeople never attempt a second sale. Management, owners, operators, sales managers, team leaders get second money. Insist on second money. You never get all the money from any one customer. I want you to write this down. It is impossible for you to get all the money from one customer. You don't break out a customer. So when you think, if I go back and ask for this or that or that or this, or we add this, and they're already tapped out, you never get all the money from one customer. Just ring. Also, the second sale is the best way to own a client. If you want to own a client, the best way, just call them and I'll video. The best way to own a client, and I'm going to do this video conference call here in a second. First, webinars, nobody does this. It's crazy, dog. Dude, I'm giving you that so much stuff. It's free. Can you imagine that? Okay. Video call. The second sale is the best way to own your client. Follow-up magic. You want some follow-up magic? I'll bring it to you right now. Okay. Hey, Christian Grant Cardone, I'm doing a webinar right now. 7 tips to sales success. Okay. Todd walked in and said, man, why don't you call this guy, leave a message for him. He's close. Would you call me right now? We're doing a live webinar. There's right now 981 people watching this. Would you please call back right now and let's do this deal? How much money are we talking about? $47,000, sir. It'll make you $470. Call me back. 323-708. No. 310-777-0255. Let's do this. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters that you do something. You guys aren't following up. Follow-up magic, text, call, email, personal visits, and most importantly, I want you to text. Text. How you like that text, Jared?
Yeah.
Is that good or what?
Yeah.
What y'all smoking over there, man? These guys are all smoking their electrical cigarettes. Bring those over here. Let me show you. Okay. So follow-up magic. Look, there's some data out there about follow-up. You can show them. Come back here and do it. Okay. There's data out there on follow-up that would give you a significant competitive advantage. Not even a competitive advantage, but a dominating advantage. Follow-up, quick, fast, okay? You're not following up fast enough. I don't know if I have those numbers here. Yeah, here they are. Instant follow-up. I want you to turn your follow-up into instant. IFU. It's the IFU. Instant follow-up. 48% of all people never follow up. Average first follow-up is 72 hours after contact. How cold is that lead going to be? The likelihood of contacting a customer decreases 10 times if you wait between 5 and 10 minutes. And your chances increase 900% if you contact the client in the first 10 minutes. If you text a client in the first 2 minutes after they hit you, text, not email, not a phone call, you would increase your chances of getting a qualifying a customer in a call by almost 560%. Instant follow-up, November, December, make it your ritual. Okay. Retail to cold calls. I mentioned a guy named Heath Powell. Heath Powell got on our sales university, Cardone Sales University. You know I'm going to make you an offer for something today. You guys know I'm priming you, getting you ready. How would you like a check? How would you like a check, a bonus check for $13,744? How big? After taxes. Excuse me, Jared.
Yeah, that's net.
As that net after the tax man. I took this guy off the road. Redneck. Is he still here?
Yeah, he's still here.
Bring him.
Come on, Heath.
This guy's a redneck. This guy's a redneck. Okay. We scratched out that this guy's a redneck. He's here today. I took him off the road, out selling seminars. Do you even have a college education? You have a high school education? Barely. Okay. Barely a high school education. Okay. Now look what I'm showing, dude. I didn't get permission to do this. Is that your check?
The bonus part, yeah.
That's the bonus part. After taxes or before taxes?
That's after taxes.
Now, let me ask you something. Now, did you ever think that you could make cold calls and sell over the phone?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you do it 10 years ago?
Because I didn't have the knowledge of it back then.
Oh, you got to come down. You got to come down a little bit, okay? This guy was in retail working 14-hour days. I've been talking to him for a year and a half. Get off the road. Get out of retail, dude. I want you to come into the office, and I want you to work here on a phone, in front of a phone. Was that awkward for you, though?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay. This month,
Uncomfortable.
did you just get married?
Yes.
Because you can have a family now.
Absolutely.
My man.
My
Okay.
man.
Thank you for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much.
Okay. He got on a Cardone University, went from retail. Now we work with him every day. Every day sales meetings, every day sales training. Every day he's required to do the university. Every day he's doing training. He doesn't work a 14-hour retail day anymore. He works 8 hours a day, building a book of business. Last month made
It was a $24,000 net check, $23,000.
Thank you. I don't know all this. Okay. Now, look, this isn't all about me, folks. Okay. I'm not saying I'm the greatest salesman in the world. Other people say that about me.
I am the greatest.
I am the greatest. Okay. But look, this is about duplicating. You know, who was it, Jared, that said, man, the more other people you can help, the more you help yourself? Who was that? Zig Ziglar or something?
Zig, I think.
Big Zig. Okay. Look, here's a lady, Natasha. We met Natasha. Biggest paycheck, she wrote me this, biggest paycheck I ever got was hooking up with Grant Cardone Sales University. He wasn't with me on every sales call, but it was like he was with me on every sales call. What I'm talking about is she is a member in a university. She now works for us because she did so well with it. Her biggest check was how much, Jared?
$48,000.
Was that before or after taxes? Is that a net number?
That's a
she's 1099.
That's a check to her. Yeah.
Check to her. $48,000, made more money in 1 month than her husband made last year. The decision phenomenon. Every buyer decides to take action before you ever ask them to take action. In fact, it is proven now 57 to 63% of consumers today are done on your product, have agreed in their own mind to purchase it before they even contact you. The fact that they drive to you or call you, 63% of clients are done. That means you only have to bring the ball the other 37 yards. Now, what does this have to do with anything? It's called the decision phenomenon. And what I want you to do with the decision phenomenon is I want you to start doing this. Asking the buyer, the prospect, have you seen enough or have enough information to make a decision? That changes your sales process. Google searches, Yahoo, Bing, etc. have changed the amount of content and information a client has. I want you to add that to your sales process so that when you're meeting somebody today, I want you to think about closing them when you meet them. So what am I going to do right now? I'm going to go into my presentation. I'm going to present. I'm going to basically take my full presentation and I'm going to break it into 5 little tiny categories. Okay. Rather than doing the presentation of the entire product now, I'm going to show one piece and ask this question. Have you seen enough to make a decision? Do you have enough information to make a decision? No, man, I don't have enough information to make a decision on 40 grand. Good. Let me continue. Blah, 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 blah. Present your product and then ask what?
Have you seen enough to make sense of the money?
No. Well, thank you. I'll continue. He gives you the right, or she gives you the right to actually continue with your presentation. You move on with your presentation. You're a life insurance salesperson. And at the end of this many years, you'll have this much money set up in an annuity account. Have you seen enough to make a decision? Yeah, I think we have. Boom. You didn't even do the last 2 legs of your presentation. You don't need to. You guys are talking way beyond the sale. That has been around for freaking 5,000 years. You're talking past the sale. People have information shoved up to the front of your transaction now. It's called the decision phenomenon. The buyer decides to take action before he or she agrees to take action with you, and you're missing it. The human element slows the process down. The buyer has reasons for closing. You aren't aware. You must find out what those are. Phone sales. Here's a guy, phone sales, 26 years old from Indiana, had no experience in phone sales. Phone sales are the hardest sale there is, no doubt about it. I've done them all, retail, in front of people, waiting on customers, going to get customers. Phone sales are the most difficult. Here's a guy from Indiana, farm boy, $15,000 a month. He'll make 200 grand this year.
Oh, farm boy. Yep.
26 years old.
Farm boy.
You ready to take it to another level, folks? Are you ready to be a master of the sales universe? Here's a person, JD. Grant Cardone Sales University took my income from $80,000 to $320,000 a year. Do you know the difference between $80,000 and $320,000 when you got 4 kids in Fairfield or Fairfax, Virginia? Expensive to live up there, okay? And you got a beautiful wife like he's got. Big difference between living on 80 G's and 320. Folks, it's out there. This guy increased his income this much during the worst economic conditions America's ever experienced. Here's another person. Thanks for hooking me up on Cardone University. Last month, I made an average of $6,000 a month. Your online program after 60 days took me to $25,000 a month. That's a network marketing independent 1099 person. Okay, I want you to do this. Everybody that's making a decision, be a sales master today, I want you to write down the number. What is the opportunity? The opportunity. This is the question you should always be asking yourself. What is the opportunity for gain? Not what you made, not how good you are, not how much money you have. What is the opportunity for gain? If you study wealthy people, very successful people, they look for the opportunity to gain, not what they have. They don't look at what they did. They look at what's available. I want you to write that number down. What is it you're missing every year by not having the right information, the right motivation, the right data when you need it? Is it $5,000 a month? $5,000 a year? Is it $5,000 a week? What is it? What is it costing you not have the confidence, the know-how, the guts? Everybody wants to be the boss until it comes time to write a check. And then everybody's like, no, that's somebody else, man. But here's the reality of the economy you're in today. At no time in the time that, at least the time I've lived on this planet, I've never been more worried about the everyday man than right now. The average person in this country makes 50 grand a year and can't live on it. 76% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. My little daughter, my 5-year-old daughter says, Papa, that's not fair. You won't do this for me. Baby, life is bad for too many people. It's good for a bunch and it's great for a few. Who's it going to be great for? The people that prep up, prepare up, and get obsessed with. You want to be great at sales? You got to get great every day. Don't get great, stay great. So today, I gave you a bunch of information. You have tons of notes. You've been tweeting about it, talking about it. You're asking me questions on here. Tomorrow, what's going to happen? It's like the event where you go walk on fire. That's good. You walked on fire. You're all excited and pumped up. Wednesday, a customer's going to stall you. They're going to say their budget's too high. They're going to cancel an appointment. They're not going to take your phone call. They're going to tell you we decided to put it off for next year. They're going to offer you a number that's too low. They're going to complain about you possibly pressuring them, and you're going to wake up one day and find yourself not motivated. Look, the reality is most salespeople don't even know who they are. No offense. I don't want to offend anybody, okay? If the shoe fits, jam it down your throat. If not, it won't offend you. But most salespeople think you're out drinking and partying all the time. Okay, most salespeople think that's what your friends think of you. Other people think the mom thinks you're in a boardroom every day. That's not what you're doing every day. Society thinks you're a piece of scumbag. I mean, really, it doesn't matter whether you're selling Allstate insurance or network marketing. Customers think you're making too much money. You think you're out there being a farmer, a rancher, a herder. Most salespeople just got their hands in their head, not knowing what to do. And they make sales wrong. They make the industry wrong. They make their career wrong. They make their customer wrong. They make the economy wrong. Hell, they'll even blame it on a politician. Reasons people retreat or do nothing. Number one, they didn't use something in the past. This today reminds you of some past failure. You remember a time when you didn't use something. You decide, I can't do that because. And by the way, I have 4 more sales tips for you that you don't want to leave to get. Trust me, they're freaking killer. You didn't use something before, so you think, hey, man, all things are the same. I'm not going to use this either. That's not true. Number one, you didn't use it. Number two, it didn't apply to you. It didn't apply. You didn't apply the information. You didn't use the information. You didn't apply. You couldn't figure out how to get it when you need it. Number three, it didn't work for you. And number 4, you don't have the money. Okay, now the first 3 are on you. The 4th one's on me. Okay, let me give you a bonus right here. Bonus. Buyer will always pay more money than they said they would. I don't care how many times. This is actually misspelled. Bonus. This should say budget buyer will always pay more. This should say the budget buyer. When the buyer tells you, identifies himself as a budget buyer, they are telling you right there, I will pay more. This is what you need to know about every budget buyer. Every budget buyer. There was no budget before there was a budget. Listen to this, the budget buyer. Anytime a buyer identifies himself as a budget buyer, know this, they will buy. All budget buyers will close. Budget buyers are basically talking about their past. We're on a budget, which means what? How'd you get on a budget? Because you overspent. See, at one time in civilization, thousands of years ago, it was not against the law to kill people. There was no law. You could kill people. They're like, is that all right? Yes. I don't know. Let's see if there's any rules against it. Doesn't seem right. There's nothing written about it. And people just kept killing people. And then one day they're like, this is getting out of hand. A lot of people killing a lot of people. So what'd they do? They wrote a law. No more killing. Not cool. Not good. Then they etched it in stone. Can't kill people, man. Then they made it one of the commandments. Thou shalt not kill. And that has transcended now for 2,000 years, and everybody pretty much knows not the right thing to do. Okay? Today, if you kill somebody, you could be in some kind of legal ramification. See, the same thing about budgets. You're like, what's my boy GC talking about? The master salesman of the universe, the newest guru that exists is telling you anytime the buyer says, I'm on a budget, you need to know that everybody has sold this client but you. They will get weak in the close if you solve their problem. Oh, by the way, the only reason anybody buys anything is
Justin Vaz.
to solve a problem. Okay? The why. Do you know the why? No one buys a price. They buy a solution. This is the single only reason anybody buys anything for at any time will ever buy anything. The guy's buying a $25 million house to solve a problem. He buys a $25 tank of gas to solve a problem. You buy a $400 tire to solve, or $400 worth of tires to solve a problem, and you'll put a $1,200 tire on the front end of a Gulfstream to solve a problem. That same guy will complain about paying $50,000 for an automobile and then spend $50,000 on the windshield of his aircraft. Why? There's no person on this planet that doesn't get rich without being a salesperson. Steve Jobs, master salesperson, dude. Threw it all on the line every day, dog. See, the people that get rich spend money. The people that stay poor hold on to their money. See, poor people save money. Rich people invest money. They get rich because they're willing to throw down, man. You got to get better. This held me back the first 25 years of my life. I held on to everything and I stayed small. It's exactly what I was telling Jared about. Open the flows up. You got to open your flows. Why pressure is vital to closing sales. This is a bonus sales secret I want to give you. Why is pressure critical to a sale? Because people don't do what's good for them. Okay, you want to write this down. People do not stop the things that are bad for them, and they don't start the things that are good for them. I love people, man.
Yeah.
You know, dude, I remember when I was broke, 25 years old, owed the government 40 grand, had no money, didn't know what to do, hated myself, woke up every morning disgusted. You guys ever wake up disgusted with your situation? I go 3 or 4 days and don't sell something, and the next thing you know, I'm making sales wrong. Sales is not the problem, I'm telling you. You got to get your game on, man. You got to get your game on. You got to get hooked up with somebody who's got the right attitude and the right information. Folks, you think the U.S. government can help you? $17 trillion in debt, admitted debt. What you going to do? What you going to do? What you going to do? Hey, folks, we're going to call this a night now, okay? I love you for being here. My name's Grant Cardone. You can follow me on Twitter at Grant Cardone. It's an unbelievable webinar tonight. Unbelievable opportunity for everybody. If you didn't take advantage of it tonight, when you go to bed tonight, if you pray to God, maybe ask, hey man, you think, should I do that? Should I have done it? If you're even thinking about, should you have done it? Man, what a way to go to sleep at night.